One Zambia, one nation. Hello and welcome to the news. To present, my name is Henry Himonde. Our top stories in the news. 60th session of Presidential Delivery Unit opens. UNICEF sinks 10 boreholes in Solwezi district. 3 foreign charity organizations built 2 schools to cater for 1,000 children. And freedom fighters urge government to honor construction of Chinsali Museum. The news in detail. The 60th session of the Presidential Delivery Unit Labs has officially opened in Lusaka. Secretary to the Cabinet Patrick Kangwa emphasized on the need for cabinet ministers to create one government approach in the implementation of government's priority projects outlined in the PDU. Audrey Kalenga has details in the following report.
On the 10th of March this year, President Hakainde Hichilema established the Presidential Delivery Unit (PDU) to ensure service delivery trickles down to people, especially the less privileged. Secretary to Cabinet Patrick Kangwa has opened a 5-day PDU labs on the one-stop border post and CDF projects with a call on stakeholders to collectively share ideas on best practices for the betterment of Zambia.
This is also a rare opportunity. I know we come with 30, 40 years of experience as civil servants, but this is a rare opportunity for all of us to open to new ideas. Let's not just hold on to what we've been doing the last 20 years, only that can work. No, we're open to new ideas and we want people to think outside the box. Feel free to introduce anything that you want, anything that you think you've come across. It's important and it's good for us as a country.
Delivering their presentations on the one-stop border post to facilitate trade, Minister of Commerce Chipokamlenga and Transport and Logistics Minister Frank Tayali emphasized the need for the 9 ministries to work together with the PD unit in actualizing Zambia's potential.
Let me just try to focus quickly on the PDU. This is a unit that has not come to fight anyone in our ministries, but just wants to bring the presidency closer to the players that are implementing the president's vision. This is a unit that has been put together of men and women that equally share the vision like you do with the president.
PDU is here to hold our hand and work with us to avoid us getting bogged down with certain things which may not be necessary. Can we attack the low-lying fruits and be able to attain sufficient results in the shortest possible time?
Livestock and Fisheries Minister Makozo Chikote said government is in a hurry to implement all the projects for the people to see tangible development as outlined in the UPND Party manifesto.
We need now to start answering to the problems that we have identified. I'm sure, especially our permanent secretaries in the ministries, we are aware of the problems, all the rigidities that are affecting our service delivery. So it's not now the issue of going to theories. We now start actualizing.
Local Government and Rural Development Minister Garin Kombo also made submissions concerning the CDF rigidities and successes.
It's important for us to understand that we are touching the Ministry of Education. Under community projects, it's important for you to understand we are touching the Ministry of Health because we have been given targets there that no rural health center should be without a maternity wing with running water with the solar-run electricity system.
Audrey Kalenga, Zanis News, Lusaka.
And Zambia is hosting a 4-day training course on assistance and protection against chemical weapons for Anglophone member states in Africa. The Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, which is the implementing body of Chemical Weapons Convention, says abandoned and old chemical weapons still need to be recovered and destroyed. Speaking in Lusaka today during the official opening of the training, that has attracted participants from different parts of Africa. OPCW Program Officer, Assistance and Protection Branch, Babatunde Olokero, said the use of and threat of chemical weapons during the past decade has demonstrated serious violations. Mr. Olokere admitted that preventing the re-emergence of chemical weapons is a long-term undertaking. Speaking at the same event, Ministry of Defense Permanent Secretary Norman Chipakupaku said the training will help state parties to establish basic capabilities that will directly benefit civilians. And Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation Permanent Secretary Hopes Tumbeko said Zambia remains committed to providing assistance and protection in accordance with the Chemical Weapons Convention.
Preventing the re-emergence of chemical weapons and their use is a long-time undertaking. Nonetheless, while the danger caused by state chemical arsenal are now receding, other threats are emerging that require us to be very vigilant.
The international community in liaison with state parties is pursuing a common legislative framework to make sure that we counter these threats, which can happen anytime. I'm aware, colleagues, that the main purpose of this training is basically to help state parties establish basic capabilities in this area that will directly benefit our civilian populations throughout the region.
Zambia continues to benefit from many trainings and mentorship programs organized by OPCW Secretariat. We remain committed to providing assistance and protection in accordance with the Convention. In this regard, the Zambia National Authority, in collaboration with relevant stakeholders, have successfully responded to a number of chemical incidents, and it is gratifying that the response time and coordination among stakeholders has improved.
In Muchinga Province, government has issued a final warning to illegal miners at Kanyelele Mine in Mpika District to stop all mining activities and vacate the area. Mpika District Commissioner David Siame sounded the warning when he visited the mine in the company of law enforcement agencies and other government officials. Peggy Gutinho now gives us details in the following report.
Due to the illegal mining activities at Kanyelele Gold Mine in Mpika, government has given a final warning to the miners to stop mining activities and leave the area. The continued illegal mining is posing as a health hazard and also contributing to land degradation. Mpika District Commissioner David Siame, who was in the company of Muchinga Zambian National Service ZNS Regional Commander Kenom Talempundu, told the miners to vacate the area.
So in order, to formalize everything, all these people involved in these illegal mining activities have to leave, so that now mining activities can follow procedure as it is outlined in the Mines and Minerals Development Act. So at the moment it's difficult for the government to do anything. We're not getting anything as government at the moment.
ZNS Muchinga Regional Commander Kenom Talempundu said that the move by government is aimed at ensuring that the resource benefits every Zambian.
Which is to ensure that each and every resource which is here is protected. And as Zambia National Service, we have been mandated to ensure that we move in to provide the security for the resource that is here, so that it can benefit each and every Zambian, other than the way it is today, where it is benefiting only few individuals, and indeed we are not accounting for the resource that is being mined from here.
Peggy Gutinho for Zanis in Mpika, Muchinga Province.
And in other news, the Mwata Kazembe has implored beneficiaries of the Constituency Development Fund CDF grants and loans in Mwansa-Wombwe district in Wapula Province to use the funds prudently. Speaking in an interview with Zanis at his palace, the Mwata said government has expanded the CDF so as to achieve meaningful development at district level. The matter urged the beneficiaries to engage in meaningful projects that will improve and sustain the living standards at household level. He urged the loan beneficiaries to strive to pay back so that other applicants can also benefit. And the matter has also requested the local authority to use the community projects component of the CDF by engaging in viable projects which will change the face of the district. He cautioned against misusing CDF funds on intangible projects and directed the council to ensure that feasible projects are identified and implemented. The matter proposed to the local authority to divide the district in 3 zones and use the community component of CDF in 1 zone every year.
This is an opportunity that we shouldn't try by enemies to abuse. You are getting loans, we are getting loans, I should say. Others are getting grants, but there shouldn't be any abuse of this facility, because this should be a revolving fund. You allow others also to benefit. Here we've got the Constituency Development Fund, and we are lucky that the new donor administration has kept on increasing. It is now entirely upon us as a council and as a people of Mansabomwe to sit down and prioritize what needs to be done first.
We continue with the news. In a bid to enhance access to clean, safe drinking water, the United Nations Children's Fund has sunk 10 boreholes and renovated 12 existing ones in Sandangombe ward of Solwezi Central constituency. Area Member of Parliament Stafford Mulusa says the gesture will avert the erratic water supply that residents in the area face. The lawmaker called on residents to guard the facilities against vandalism. Here's the report.
This is Katoba Stream in Katoka area of Sandangombe ward in Solwezi Central constituency. The stream is the main source of water for residents in the area. This will, however, be a thing of the past following the construction of a borehole in the area by the United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, UNICEF. The water point is among the 10 boreholes that have been sunk by UNICEF in the area, a development which has excited Solwezi Central Member of Parliament, Stafford Mulusa.
We appreciate the effort of our cooperative partners. This is how it's supposed to be. And we really appreciate the works that UNICEF is doing in the Solwezi Central constituency with a lot of boreholes dotted around all the 12 wards. I think it calls for accolades to UNICEF, and this partnership that we are seeing now means that we have the good management of the economy now.
Mr. Mulusa says more boreholes will be sunk using the Constituency Development Fund, CDF.
Water has been a problem everywhere you go. And now that we have a lot of boreholes around Solwezi Central, and also through CDF we are doing boreholes. We are also doing boreholes in Water Development Fund, and I hope that our communities will be sensitized to take care of these boreholes, to manage them properly so that they benefit for a longer period.
And Sandangombe Ward Councillor Manix Kapelemba says the area previously only had 4 functional boreholes.
By next week, once they put the pump, I'll have 22 working boreholes. You know, water is life. This is one of the biggest cry. People have been drinking from even this time before this one, they're using the streams, which is not healthy for consumption. So this is changing people's life and health at the same time.
For Zanis News, I am Onishas Mamba in Solwezi District, Northwestern Province.
In Northern Province, government and its partners have made strides in the provision of clean and safe drinking water to citizens. Namsokwe Wembia reports that Action Aid Zambia has drilled 2 boreholes in Lapisha and Chinyika wards of Senga Hill district.
Access to clean and safe drinking water is essential in improving the health of the people. The Zambian government has been partnering with various stakeholders such as ActionAid Zambia to improve the quality of water for the people in its area of operations. In Senga Hill District, the organization has sunk 2 boreholes at Impande Rural Health Center and Mukungwa Primary School to alleviate the challenges people in the 2 communities have been facing in accessing clean drinking water.
You know, government cannot just take it all alone. So we need partners like ActionAid, what we have seen. You know, the issue of water is very critical, especially in institutions like health, even education. So even those who are able to assist, they're supposed to come on board so that together we develop this country.
And Senga Hill District Health Director Wilfred Namata says the drilling of the borehole will help to enhance service delivery at the health facility.
We are grateful for the gesture that has been shown to us as it will really help our facility in terms of service delivery, maternity testing, and all those things.
In the past years that have passed, we have been having challenges in terms of water, which is a very big deal. But lucky enough, they have done their job by the help of ActionAid, in partnership with the government, which we are very much grateful.
The community who have been using this water well have thanked ActionAid Zambia for their gesture. Reporting for Zanis, Namsokwe Bwembia.
And in Western Province, sanity has returned to Kaoma's Luyanti health post following months of not having health workers due to witchcraft allegations. This is after community members organized a witch finder who claimed to have cleansed the health post and removed all witchcraft-related materials that were deposited at the facility. Lianti Ward Councillor Mandi Kwala confirmed the development and told Zanis in an interview today that ever since the witch finder was invited to cleanse the health facility, no officer has ever abandoned the facility due to suspected witchcraft attacks. A few months ago, health workers hardly lived and worked at Lianti Health Post because of alleged witchcraft torments. Mr. Kwala explained that life became unbearable for sick people in the area as they had to travel over 30 kilometers to the nearest health post in Kulamwange to access medical services due to absence of health workers. He said ever since health workers were deployed, maternal deaths have reduced in the community and people are no longer covering long distances to access health services. We now take you to Central Province, where 3 charity organizations based in the United States of America have constructed 2 schools in Kapirimposhi district to provide access to education to over 1,000 children. Saksha, Nuna, and V&S foundations have built a school each in Muchenga and Fisonga communities where children drop out of school and opt for early marriages due to non-availability of education facilities. Carlos Wunda reports that Kapirimposhi Member of Parliament Stanley Kakubo handed over the 1x4 classroom schools fully furnished with desks and installed with water reticulation systems.
This structure served as the only school in Mchenga community in Kapirimposhi district. The picture is the same in Fisonga community, where pupils have to endure over 15 kilometers of daily walks and usually quit education altogether due to lack of a school in the area.
This school was opened in 2005. Pupils were used to rent from Catholic Church that side. So after that, the community thought of putting up this structure.
But these challenges will be no more, as 3 United States of America-based charitable organizations have combined efforts to construct schools in each of these communities.
The impact of this project will be significant because there's been no school in this area. Currently, I think there are about 500 kids that are going to get enrolled here.
Decided this community was very much worth helping, and they're in serious need of help.
we always try to prioritize our projects based on who needs the most help, and that's what we found here.
Kaprimposh Member of Parliament Stanley Kakubo has handed over the schools, fully furnished with desks and installed with water reticulation system.
Our focus is education, amongst many things, and that is coming out of the President's pronouncements that we must implement free education everywhere. But that comes with responsibilities. What we see now is that the classes are overflowing. So in Kapiri here, we are doing it in two ways. One, we are using CDF to build schools. Two, we are partnering with carefully picked partners that are focused on helping communities. Siksha Foundation is one of them, V&S is one of them, and Manu Foundation.
Government and the communities are elated about the gesture.
We will now be able to provide quality education to our learners.
With this school infrastructure, it will be able to deter our children who have been married off at a tender age. It will reduce child marriages.
Carlos Lunda, Zanis, Kaprimposhi.
Now, Katuba, Member of Parliament Mwabashike Nkulukusa, says government will continue to partner with the private sector in its quest to attain economic development. Mr. Nkulukusa says government believes that partnership is one of the ways of uplifting the living standards of the people in the country. The lawmaker was speaking during the distribution of mealie meal by Surya Energy Company to the aged in Katuba constituency in Chibombo district. Sunday Walia covered the event and brought us this report.
Katuba Member of Parliament Mwabashike Nkulukusa says government will continue to partner with the private sector in its journey to realize economic development. He was speaking when he witnessed the donation of mealie meal by Surya Energy Group of companies to the aged people in his constituency.
What you have shown us today is a great testimony of a friendship we are starting to build between Surya Biofuels Limited and Katuba constituents under the umbrella of Public-Private Partnership Program, which we launched right here at Musaka Lodge some 1 year, 6 months ago. So we are grateful to Surya. We want to encourage you. We have seen a lot of development that is coming. This development that is coming, when it comes to employment, let us again continue working together. We want our people here, our youths, to be employed first, since you are from HR. We want our youths here to be employed first before you can employ youths from somewhere else.
And Surya Energy Group of companies says it is committed to uplifting the welfare of people in Chibombo district.
So we chose this special day that we may appreciate our people that fought for the freedom that we are enjoying today. Surya Group is a company that has indulged itself in the activities of the community. So, as the DC mentioned already, we take part in all the calendar activities and also in the community programs like funerals, meetings to do with the community wellness, and also other programs that is there to benefit our people. We take part in that regardless of where the meetings are taking place from, or where the people involved are coming from, for as long as they're within our...
And the beneficiaries expressed happiness with the donation of food hampers.
Pali vamene vachitika kuli nakondwera nipereka zikomo kuli bakulu batu na bapresident batu zoona vamene vachitika tikalibe kuvichitiriwapo. So ine nalembekeza maningi naonga zikomo ukulu maningi.
For Zanis in Katuba constituency of Chibombo district, I am Sunday Walia.
And finally, in the news, freedom fighters in Shiwangandu district are delighted with plans of setting up a provincial museum in Mchinga province that will ensure that the political struggle history of the nation is preserved. One of the freedom fighters of Matumbo area, Jacob Kapanga, said the museum is a welcome move as it will ensure that their contributions are not forgotten. Another freedom fighter of Kawangama area, Isaac Mlenga, called on government to actualize the plans of establishing a museum, saying it should not just end up on paper. Miriam Kumwenda now gives us the details.
I remember Let's Kapwepwe buying a bicycle through the window, and he told the seller that in the same way, the bicycle should be given to him through the same window. When he failed to do so, Let's Kapwepwe asked for a refund. I was in maximum prison. There we suffered a lot. They remembered some of the hardship they went through, but today the surviving freedom fighters are overjoyed with the establishment of a provincial museum in Muchinga province where their contributions will be kept safe. These freedom fighters in Shwangandu district said the museum will keep their contributions towards the attainment of the nation's independence alive.
I encouraged this project to let it build as soon as possible, because things for the past will remain in that museum. They will not be forgotten.
Other freedom fighters, including the 87-year-old Jacob Mwila Kapanga, who was shot in the leg and chest during the struggle, says the establishment of a museum is long overdue. As freedom fighters, we welcome the establishment of a museum with open arms. This way, whatever we did will not be forgotten. The provincial administration's desire to set up a museum within the province is slowly getting in shape as collection of information and data is on course, with a call by another freedom fighter to actualize it.
Let the government not leave these things as monuments, but let the government completely, so that these buildings be there forever and ever.
Miriam Kumwenda reporting for Zanis in Shwangandu district, Chinga province.
On that note, we come to the end of the news, but before we go, another look at the top stories in our news. 60th session of Presidential Delivery Unit opens. UNICEF sinks 10 boreholes in Solwezi district. 3 foreign charity organizations built 2 schools to cater for 1,000 children. And freedom fighters urge government to honor construction of Chinsali Museum. Thank you so much for joining us on the news. On behalf of the entire news production crew, my name is Henry Himonde. Remember to join us tomorrow again at the same time for another edition. For now, it's goodbye.
Welcome to today's weather report and forecast. To present it, my name is Peggy Tole. We are in winter and we expect temperatures to start dropping. Let's just take a look at the minimum temperatures reported this morning. We had the lowest minimum temperature of 1 degree Celsius reported from Kafironda, and that was quite a very low temperature. Followed by Kaoma, which had 5 degrees Celsius, together with Mwinilunga, Mount Makulu, and Magoye in Southern Province. Other stations like Choma reported 7 degrees Celsius as their minimum temperature, while we had Kalabo reporting 8. Solwezi, Mongu, Mfuwe, and Misamfu reported 9 degrees Celsius as their minimum temperatures, while Lusaka reported 10 degrees Celsius as its minimum temperature. Now let's just take a look at the current surface chart to see what system is currently affecting our weather. What to expect is that we have a high pressure system that has been sighted over the southern parts of South Africa. This high pressure system is quite strong, and therefore it will be adverting some relatively moist and strong airflow from the southeast to cover most parts of the country. And what does that mean? It will mean that the pressure gradient of our country will be tightened, and this will tend to increase windy weather conditions. And a significant drop in temperature is expected because of the source of the airflow, which is coming from the extratropics, which is a cold region. With that, let's just take a look at the cloud cover expected from 11th to 16th July 2023. We expect most parts of the southern parts of the country, that is southern, Lusaka, central, eastern, Muchinga and northern provinces, to be mainly cloudy in the morning, windy with low morning temperatures. While the rest of the country, that's the northern parts of the country, which include western, northwestern, Copperbelt and Luapula provinces, to be sunny but very windy and with low daytime temperatures. By afternoon, we expect the cloudy weather conditions to continue covering these areas, while the mornings are expected to have some drizzle in some parts of Lusaka, eastern and Muchinga provinces. With that, from the weather studios, we would say that be advised to keep warm and avoid open places due to dusty weather conditions. We expect low temperatures this week, and hence you have to keep warm. Thanks for joining us. This has been Peggy Tole. Enjoy the weather.